traffic light ahead turned yellow, I had a split second to decide, floor it or slam on the brakes. My mind, in a flash, didn't just calculate my speed and the distance to the intersection. It also processed the car in my rearview mirror, tailgating with aggressive impatience. It registered the cross traffic already inching forward like sprinters at the starting block. If I brake, the tailgater might rear-end me. If I speed through, I might get T-boned or, at the very least, earn a flashy ticket from a hidden police car. My decision wasn't being made in a vacuum. It depended entirely on the potential actions of other players in this sudden, high-stakes game. Most of us think of game theory as something reserved for Ivy League economics classes, Cold War strategists, or Russell Crowe in a beautiful mind scribbling on windows. We imagine complex equations and talk of nuclear deterrence. But the truth is, you've been an expert game theorist your entire life. You just didn't know it. From navigating a crowded supermarket to negotiating bedtime with a toddler, our lives are a complex tapestry of interconnected games. Understanding the basic rules of this unseen world doesn't require a PhD, it requires a shift in perspective. It's a lens that, once you learn to look through it, can demystify human behavior, reduce conflict, and empower you to make smarter, more empathetic decisions in every corner of your life. So, what exactly is a game? Before we dive deep, let's demystify the jargon. In game theory, a game is any situation where the outcome of your choice depends on the choices of others. It has three key components: players, the decision makers involved, for example you, and the other drivers at the intersection; strategies, the possible actions each player can take, just like you can brake or accelerate; payoffs, the outcomes or consequences for each player based on the combination of strategies chosen, like getting home safely, causing an accident, or getting a ticket. The central idea, famously articulated by mathematician John Nash, is the Nash Equilibrium. It sounds complicated, but the concept is beautifully simple. It's a state where every player has chosen their best possible strategy, given the strategies chosen by everyone else. No one can improve their own situation by unilaterally changing their move. Think about two coffee shops opening on the same street. If they both position themselves at opposite ends, they each capture half the market. If one moves to the center, they might steal more customers. But then the other shop will also move to the center to compete. The Nash Equilibrium is both shops setting up right next to each other in the middle of the street. Neither can do better by moving, assuming the other stays put. You've seen this in real life with gas stations and fast food chains clustered at the same exit. That's not a coincidence. It's a real-world Nash Equilibrium. Now, let's see how this plays out not in boardrooms, but in our living rooms, workplaces, and relationships. This is the prisoner's dilemma. My roommate, a dirty kitchen, and the art of cooperation. The most famous concept in game theory is the prisoner's dilemma, and I lived it for a year with my college roommate, Alex. The game was the state of our shared kitchen. The players were Alex and me. We each had two strategies. Cooperate. Take 15 minutes to clean up your own mess immediately after cooking. Defect. Leave your dirty dishes in the sink, hoping the other person will eventually get fed up and clean them. Let's break down the payoffs. You cooperate, Alex cooperates. We both spend a little time cleaning, but we get the huge reward of a consistently clean kitchen. A great outcome. Payoff. +5 for you, +5 for Alex. You defect, Alex cooperates. You get a clean kitchen without doing any work. You are a genius. A freeloader, but a genius. This is the best individual outcome for you. Payoff. +10 for you, -5 for Alex, who has to clean your mess. You cooperate, Alex defects. You end up cleaning not only your mess but his too. You feel like a chump. This is the worst possible outcome for you. Payoff. -5 for you, +10 for Alex. You defect, Alex defects. You both leave your dishes. The sink fills with a crusty, moldering monument to your mutual stubbornness. The kitchen is unusable and you both live in filth. A terrible outcome for both of you. Payoff, -10 for you, -10 for Alex. From a purely selfish, one-time perspective, the best strategy is always to defect. If Alex is going to clean, you're better off not cleaning. If Alex isn't going to clean, you're still better off not cleaning. Why clean his mess? So we both rationally chose to defect. The result? A disgusting kitchen that made us both miserable, the classic lose-lose outcome of the prisoner's dilemma. We were stuck in a Nash equilibrium, but it was a terrible one. Changing the game. This is where game theory becomes a tool for change, not just analysis. The problem was we were playing a one-shot game every single day. The solution was to turn it into an iterated or repeated game. We knew we had to live together for a year. The future mattered. My reputation with Alex and his with me had value. This changes everything. In a repeated game, strategies like Tit-for-Tat emerge as incredibly powerful. It works like this. Start by cooperating, clean your first mess. On every subsequent turn, do whatever the other player did on the previous turn. If Alex cleaned, I cleaned. If he left a mess, I'd leave my next one. This simple strategy punishes defection immediately but also rewards cooperation instantly. It's forgiving but firm. Eventually, we got tired of the passive-aggressive tit-for-tat and did something even better. We changed the rules of the game by communicating. We sat down and created a simple cleaning schedule. We introduced a contract, a chart on the fridge, and enforcement, the mutual shame of not ticking your box. By adding communication and accountability, we shifted the payoffs. The reward for cooperating, a clean kitchen and a peaceful apartment, became far greater than the short-term benefit of defecting. We escaped the dilemma, your life application. Think about a recurring conflict at work, a colleague who doesn't pull their weight on a shared project, a department that never shares information. You are likely in a prisoner's dilemma. Instead of silently fuming, defecting, can you reframe it as a repeated game? Build a reputation for reliability, cooperate, call out bad behavior clearly but calmly, a tit-for-tat response. And most importantly, try to communicate to change the rules and align incentives. The Battle of the Sexes. Movie night and the agony of choice. This game is less about cooperation versus betrayal and more about coordination. My partner and I face this battle almost every Friday night. I want to watch the new, explosive sci-fi action movie. She wants to watch the critically acclaimed historical drama. The players are me and my partner. The strategies are choosing the action movie or the drama. The payoffs look like this. We both choose the action movie. I'm thrilled, she's moderately happy because we're together. Payoff, +10 for me, +3 for her. We both choose the drama. She's thrilled, I'm moderately happy because we're together. Payoff, +3 for me, +10 for her. I choose action, she chooses drama, or vice versa. We end up watching separate movies in separate rooms or just sitting on the couch resentfully. We both lose the main prize, spending quality time together. Payoff, 0 for me, 0 for her. This game has 2 Nash Equilibria. We both go to the action movie or we both go to the drama. The worst outcome is failing to coordinate. The challenge is, how do we decide which equilibrium to land on? This is where subtle, real-world strategies come into play that aren't about cold logic but about relationships. Commitment. If I buy the action movie on demand before she gets home, I've made a committed move. It raises the cost of her defecting to the drama. It's a bit of a power play, but it's a valid strategy. Signaling. I might spend the day talking about how excited I am for the action movie, signaling my strong preference. She might casually mention how a famous historian praised the drama's accuracy. We are signaling our potential payoffs to each other. Fairness and turn-taking. This is the most common and healthy solution. We escape the one-shot battle by turning it into a repeated game. We saw your choice last week, so this week is my turn. This creates a metagame where the long-term payoff of fairness and harmony outweighs the short-term win of getting your movie choice. Your life application. Where do you need to coordinate with others? Picking a restaurant with friends? Deciding on a vacation spot with family? Planning a project timeline with colleagues? Recognize that the biggest loss often comes from a failure to coordinate. The goal isn't to win by forcing your preference, but to find a way to land on a shared equilibrium. Use fairness, turn-taking, and clear communication about your preferences to avoid the separate room's outcome. Zero-sum versus non-zero-sum. From slicing the pie to baking a bigger one. This is perhaps the most profound mindset shift that game theory offers. A zero-sum game is one where my gain is directly your loss. Poker is a perfect zero-sum game. The money I win is precisely the money you lose. Negotiating the price of a used car is largely zero-sum. Every dollar I get off the price is a dollar out of the seller's pocket. We are conditioned to see many situations in life as zero-sum. The promotion at work, only one person can get it. The last slice of pizza, getting the best spot on the beach. The problem is that we mistakenly apply this zero-sum thinking to situations that are actually non-zero-sum. These are games where we can both win or both lose. They are win-win or lose-lose scenarios. The Dirty Kitchen. This was a classic non-zero-sum game. We could both win by cooperating or both lose badly by defecting. A brainstorming session. A good idea from one person elevates the entire project, benefiting everyone. It's a win-win. A healthy relationship. Your partner's happiness contributes to your own. It's not a competition. My personal mindset shift. I used to get incredibly stressed during performance reviews at my old job. I saw them as a zero-sum game for salary increases. The budget for raises was fixed, and I was competing with my colleagues for a bigger slice of the pie. It made me guarded, less likely to help others, and constantly comparing myself. My new manager, whether she knew game theory or not, completely changed the game. She framed our development not as a competition for a fixed pot of money, but as a team effort to make the entire department more valuable to the company. If we, as a team, can increase our division's revenue by 20%, she argued, the pie we're all getting a slice of becomes much, much bigger. She turned a zero-sum game into a non-zero-sum one. Suddenly, helping my colleague hit his target wasn't a loss for me. It was a win for our team that could lead to better bonuses for everyone. Sharing my knowledge wasn't giving away an edge. It was investing in our collective success. This shift from me versus you to us was revolutionary. It reduced stress, improved teamwork, and, ironically, led to better individual outcomes for everyone. Your life application. Scrutinize the games in your life. Are they truly zero-sum, or are you just treating them that way? When you argue with your spouse about finances, are you fighting over a fixed pie? Or could you brainstorm ways to increase income or reduce expenses together, baking a bigger pie? When collaborating with a team, are you hoarding your best ideas for your own glory? Or are you contributing to a collective win? Recognizing you're in a non-zero-sum game is the first step toward finding a win-win solution. Signaling and screening, the hidden language of job interviews and dating profiles. Game theory also explains how we deal with one of life's biggest challenges: asymmetric information. This is when one player knows a lot more than the other. A classic example is a job interview. I, the candidate, know my true work ethic, skills, and weaknesses. The employer does not. They face a hidden information problem. They need to screen for good candidates. Conversely, I need to signal that I am a high-quality employee. The signal: my college degree, my professional-looking suit, my well-researched answers, my portfolio of work. These aren't just things. They are costly signals. A degree is expensive and takes years to earn. It signals not just knowledge, but perseverance and commitment. Someone who isn't dedicated is unlikely to pay that cost. When I prepared for a major interview, I spent a week not just practicing answers, but building a detailed presentation on how I would tackle my first 90 days. The content mattered, but the effort itself was the real signal. I am serious, I am dedicated, and I am a low-risk hire. The screen, the employer's difficult technical questions, multi-round interviews, and "tell me about a time you failed" prompts are screens. They are designed to be hard for low-quality candidates to pass. They are filters designed to separate the signal from the noise. This signaling screening dynamic is everywhere. An online dating profile is all about signaling, showing pictures of you on adventurous trips, mentioning your interesting hobbies, to attract a certain type of person. The first date conversation is a screening process to see if the signals match reality. A peacock's elaborate tail is a costly biological signal to peahens. I am so healthy and strong that I can afford to waste energy on this ridiculous, beautiful tail. You should choose me. Your life application. Be conscious of the signals you are sending. Your punctuality, the way you write an email, your preparedness for a meeting, they all signal information about you. When you are on the other side, trying to make a decision like hiring a contractor or choosing a daycare, think about what reliable screens you can use. Don't just listen to what they say, that's cheap talk. Look at what they have done that was costly: good reviews, professional certifications, detailed proposals. The power of knowing you're in a game. Understanding game theory doesn't mean you need to walk around with a calculator, assigning numerical payoffs to every human interaction. It doesn't mean becoming a cold, calculating manipulator. In fact, it often leads to the opposite: greater empathy. To think strategically, you must put yourself in the other person's shoes. You have to ask, what are their goals, payoffs? What are their options, strategies? What do they think I'm going to do? This act of seeing the world from another strategic perspective is the foundation of empathy. It can transform a frustrating argument with a customer service representative, where you realize their defection is constrained by company policy, their payoff structure, into a more productive problem-solving session. Life isn't a single game, but a vast, overlapping series of them. Some are competitive, but most are not. Many are games of coordination and cooperation where the biggest prize is a shared one. The real-world lesson of the prisoner's dilemma isn't never trust anyone. It's that in the long run, with the people who matter, trust and a reputation for cooperation are the most valuable assets you can have. So the next time you're stuck in traffic, negotiating with your partner, or collaborating with a team, remember the unseen game. See the players, map out the strategies, and think about the payoffs, not just for you, but for everyone. The goal isn't just to win. The goal is to understand the game. And in understanding it, you might just learn how to play it a little better. Together. If this struck your mind even a little, hit that like button so the algorithm knows you're leveling up. Want more secret frameworks like this that the top 1% use daily? Subscribe and ring the bell because in the next video we're bringing more such topics. Your next move? Make it a smart one. See you there.